ensure that those living in Phoenix have access to top-notch medical care. When my mom was diagnosed with cancer many years ago, our family was told she'd have to travel to Houston to receive the best care. That bothered me to my core, and I vowed to change it. I want all Phoenix families to get the care they need right here at home. And let me be clear, that includes reproductive health care. Last year, when Phoenix voters approved the general obligation bond, they made a $12 million investment to partner with ASU to build a new medical school downtown. It took a lot of work to get that bond passed, and it's not an exaggeration to say it will benefit Phoenix for generations. Thank you to the impressive co-chair of that campaign, Councilwoman Keisha Hodge-Washington. ASU Health will join with a network of medical excellence, which includes the University of Arizona and Creighton University. We are so fortunate to have Creighton's president, Father Daniel Hendrickson, with us here today. We will fuel advancement in medicine alongside other institutions, such as the University of Arizona's Center for Advanced Molecular and Immunological Therapies, Barrow, TGen, and all of our amazing hospital partners. In Phoenix, the City Council and I paved the way for the next chapter of bioscience. In North Phoenix, advancing the Mayo's expansion on the Discovery Oasis campus. This biotech corridor will continue to grow the presence of first-in-class research and healthcare. So much of our progress at that site is because of the steadfast commitment of Councilman Jim Waring. Our dynamic economy and the promise of our future is making Phoenix even more of a destination. It's one of the reasons Sky Harbor is busier than ever. Since I took office, international passenger numbers have jumped 20%. We have 22 more international flights departing every week than we did 5 years ago, including our recent addition of Tijuana on American Airlines. We now serve 146 air markets, the largest number of nonstop destinations Phoenix has ever had. And in 1 month from today, you'll be able to hop on a nonstop direct flight to Paris. As of today, the Phoenix Airport System's economic impact is $44 billion, an increase of nearly 15% compared to 2016. Part of that impact is made thanks to partners such as Southwest Airlines, which opened one of the largest hangars in its network at Sky Harbor a few months ago. Gorgeous. I love our airport and the local options we have, and I'm not the only one. Last year, the Wall Street Journal named Sky Harbor the very best airport in the country. I want to thank our entire airport team, from Aviation Director Chad McCuskey to our navigators and our business partners, for making that designation possible. That high mark is one I'm committed to keep, and we're going to continue to invest in Sky Harbor to make it even better. Through the federal bipartisan infrastructure law alone, our airport is set to receive more than $250 million for upgrades. If you walked through Terminals 3 and 4 recently, there's no doubt you've noticed how much busier they are than in past years. Soon, we will need a new terminal to accommodate our future growth, and I'm proud to share that next month, the City Council and I will get to work on a cutting-edge terminal at Sky Harbor's West End. It will be beautiful, with net zero greenhouse gas emissions and equipped with a new customs facility that will help us welcome even more people from all over the world. A top-tier terminal makes sense for a city that's a leader in worldwide aviation. Air taxis will make their Olympic debut at the Paris Olympics this summer, many utilizing systems made by Honeywell Aerospace right here in Phoenix. Pablo Air, a leader in delivering emergency supplies to remote locations using unmanned aerial vehicles, chose Phoenix for its North American headquarters. Later this year, Phoenix will become the first large city in the world to have Amazon Prime Air. If you live in parts of West Phoenix, you'll be able to opt in to have a drone deliver your Amazon package. We're leading the way on our roads and rail as well. Thanks to Waymo, we're the largest autonomous vehicle zone in the world. And I want to celebrate that the Global Operations Center for Cruise is located right here in the valley. Whether a cruise car is in Tempe, Tokyo, or Dubai, the navigation of the autonomous vehicle will be managed by an operator in our region. Just a few months ago, we extended the light rail north to Metro Center. It seamlessly passes over the I-17 with the system's first elevated bridge, an incredible engineering achievement. Thanks to Valley Metro and the great project team, this extension was completed on time and on budget. Next summer, we'll celebrate the opening of the South Central Extension that will connect communities along Central Avenue from downtown to Baseline with reliable, convenient transit access. Infrastructure is essential. In so many ways, it's the foundation of our local economy. Leaders before us knew that, and voters did too. By passing Proposition 300 and then Proposition 400, Maricopa County voters leveraged a half-cent sales tax into the infrastructure we see today throughout the region, Loops 101, 202, and the 303. Proposition 400 has brought improvements to hundreds of miles of roads, helped us expand valley-wide bus service, and made the light rail system possible. The funding source that supports us moving people and moving goods expires at the end of next year. Reaching a deal with the state legislature on how to renew it wasn't easy, but the agreement to extend the revenue stream does a lot of good. It adds hundreds of miles of freeways that our growing region needs, gives us the resources to make the I-17 safer, and continues to make meaningful investments in public transit. That bipartisan agreement, the renewal of this essential investment, is on the ballot in November. It's called Proposition 479, and there may be nothing more important to our local economy than getting this decision right. There are so many who made this possible, including a coalition of city, town, and tribal leaders who worked overtime to deliver. One of the most indispensable leaders is with us here today, the Executive Director of the Maricopa Association of Governments, Ed Zerker. And we're joined by 5 elected officials who helped develop the regional plan. Mesa Mayor John Giles, Buckeye Mayor Eric Orsborn, Chandler Mayor Kevin Hartke, El Mirage Mayor Alexis Hermosillo, and County Chairman Jack Sellers. We also The state legislature and the County Board of Supervisors moved it forward, and Governor Katie Hobbs signed it. We have an important road ahead of us, so let's get this done. All of these investments, the future of our economy, our own livelihood, wouldn't be possible without our most precious resource, water. We know the tough news. The West is facing an unprecedented drought, and we're keeping a close eye on the Colorado River as we navigate ongoing negotiations about potential cuts that affect all of us in Arizona. Last year, I'm sure you saw the flurry of headlines. Major news outlets declared that Phoenix was running out of water following the state's announcement about groundwater deficits in pockets of Maricopa County. One local opinion columnist even said, "If you move to Arizona, you will die of thirst." Like Michael Jordan said, I took that personally. Let me be clear, Phoenix is not running out of water. We're conserving better than ever, and we're working to create a new supply. Last year, I told you about my plan to build a multi-billion-dollar, state-of-the-art advanced water treatment facility that will recycle 60 million gallons a day. Since then, we've added plans to upgrade the Cave Creek water treatment plant, equipping it with the same purifying technology. Advanced water purification is essential for sustaining our economy and our quality of life. For decades now, Phoenix has approached water policy with the long-term view in sharp focus, and I'm proud that this City Council continues that tradition. We unanimously passed our Sustainable Desert Development Policy last year. Just a few weeks ago, we passed an ordinance for conservation requirements on new industrial projects, estimated to use more than 250,000 gallons per day. This collaborative approach will allow the experts in our Water Services Department to work with local businesses to find conservation solutions. There are inspiring examples of responsible water stewardship across the business community. And together, we will continue to deliver new strategies to secure our water supply. Phoenicians care about our environment and want to be part of the solution. We're working to make it easier than ever to do so. We've rolled out all new rebate programs, incentivizing businesses and HOAs to remove decorative grass that guzzles water. Residents can also access funds for better irrigation technology and more efficient appliances. Sustainability in the desert also requires intentional strategies to make our city more resilient in the long run. As we approach important milestones on the pathway to clean energy economy by 2050, we're lucky to have historic federal support through President Biden's Inflation Reduction Act. Just yesterday, we learned that Arizona will receive a $156 million Solar for All grant to install panels on homes across the state. In September, Phoenix also received a significant award to accelerate our city's tree planting efforts. It's safe to say there's something in this law for all of us, and the impacts will be transformational. This month alone, we planted more than 300 trees at schools that needed them the most through our Canopy for Kids grant. By year end, that number will increase to over 1,000. Iceland, who led the pledge for us today, is one of thousands of students who are benefiting from this investment. I think she might be mayor one day. Councilwoman Laura Pastor's office joined us for tree planting at Iceland School in the Isaac School District. And as a longtime educator with a big heart for Phoenix kids, I know this program is especially meaningful to her. Thank you, Laura. We're working to build a more equitable Phoenix. And my vision for a more equitable Phoenix is one in which all residents are safe, secure, and supported. A Phoenix in which residents will feel confident that dialing 911 will result in swift attention and resolution. A Phoenix in which police officers can safely do their jobs and return home to their families after every shift. I deeply appreciate our police officers, and I'm grateful to each and every one of them who take great risks every day to keep our city safe. As mayor, I set out to make improvements that enable our officers to focus on their core job functions. For example, it frustrated me how many times police officers were sent to a scene where someone was experiencing a mental health crisis but hadn't committed a crime. In instances like this, a behavioral health specialist or a social worker is much more appropriate. 5 years ago, we began to pilot alternative responses to 911 calls with a focus on mental health. Today, we have a full-fledged Community Assistance Program, or CAP, operating throughout the city 7 days a week. We continue to partner with Solari, the Crisis Response Network, to make sure we're providing the correct care on each call. So far, we've diverted nearly 8,000 calls for service through Solari and CAP. The CAP model is changing lives and saving lives. This approach helped house a family who formerly lived in a park, connected a young man dealing with isolation to supportive resources, and even helped an elderly man repair his broken air conditioning and rescue his dogs. Our efforts are serving as a model to other law enforcement departments across the globe. I'm proud that Phoenix was recently the only large city featured in BBC's People Fixing the World podcast about innovative ways communities can provide behavioral health services for those who call 911. It's working so well that we continue to grow the program. Voters approved millions of dollars in bond funding that will expand the program at 3 Phoenix fire stations. We also recently celebrated the opening of our police department's Real-Time Operations Center, an effort supported by Councilwoman Betty Guardado. From license plate readers to specialized cameras to gunshot detection technology, this facility is already making the 27th Avenue corridor safer and improving the quality of life for residents. Policing in today's world is increasingly complicated. The overwhelming majority of time, our officers get it right. But sometimes we do get it wrong. When we do, there must be transparency and accountability. On top of that, we must learn and train officers so we don't repeat our mistakes. 5 years ago, when I assumed this office, I hit the ground running to bring new transparency mechanisms to our Phoenix Police Department, improving the experience not just for our constituents, but for our agency, Today, every single uniformed frontline Phoenix police officer is equipped with a body-worn camera. Body-worn cameras have provided another window into the split-second decisions our officers have to make on duty, ultimately guiding critical decisions on accountability, policy, and training. I also recognize that good police work doesn't happen in a vacuum. The more we involve our residents in our operations, the better bridges we'll build and the deeper trust we'll have between our neighborhoods and law enforcement. That's why the City Council and I created a unique office that provides civilian review of law enforcement. That team released its first 2 monitoring reports earlier this year, and though the reports were far from glamorous, their recommendations demonstrate the value of additional engagement in our department's work. Soon, the Council and I will vote to add an extra layer of oversight with a civilian review board, a group of appointed residents who will provide important community perspectives. Together, I know that these new accountability tools will help us reinforce our department's track record of excellent service to Phoenix. I am especially thankful to have a passionate change agent alongside me to lead with a people-first approach to public safety. Can we get a round of applause for Councilman Kevin Robinson? As we continue to make strides on many fronts, we have a duty to ensure Phoenix remains a place where anyone willing to work hard and contribute can get ahead. Affordability, especially when it comes to housing, is a more significant challenge than ever. Wall Street investors have scooped up thousands of single-family homes in our region. Others have gone into the short-term rental market. And as the supply dries up, prices jump up. I want to make sure Phoenix is doing its part. Through the Housing Phoenix Plan, we are nearly 80% to our goal of creating or preserving 50,000 homes by 2030. The City Council and I made it easier for homeowners to build accessory dwelling units or backyard guest houses to increase the housing supply and give Phoenix families the opportunity to live multi-generationally. We are making it easier for developers to grow supply. We're updating the city code, adding staff, and improving technology to cut red tape and reduce approval times. For example, instead of waiting on the City Council, city staff can now review plats more quickly, in turn accelerating the building of affordable housing in Phoenix. To folks who might be listening and thinking zoning policies are the bane of the affordable housing shortage, I'm here to tell you that in my city, they are not. The Phoenix City Council zones more multifamily housing units than any other city in Arizona. We approve hundreds of future homes, ranging from market rate to affordable housing at nearly every council meeting. As market forces trend toward more dense building, we are seeing a nearly 30% increase in multifamily permits. Now more than ever, we need partners across all levels of government, industry, and community organizations to come to the table on solutions to the affordable housing challenge. We must do the right thing by our neighbors and friends who are struggling to find housing options they can afford. A lack of affordable housing options also contributes to the challenge of solving our homelessness crisis. This is a tragic reality for communities like ours across the country, one complicated by substance use and a real gap in mental health availability. As the crisis has grown, so too have our efforts to combat it. The Phoenix's City Office of Homeless Solutions, which didn't exist when I became mayor, now has 36 full-time team members. Many of our dedicated outreach staff have experienced homelessness themselves, giving them a unique insight and a leg up on helping others to transition out of homelessness. Phoenix is also leading the way on shelter. In the last 3 years alone, we've come to represent nearly 83% of all beds in Maricopa County. That is a staggering number, and more communities in the valley must step up to meet this moment. Getting a person into temporary shelter makes the path to permanent housing much easier, and the one approach for everyone strategy doesn't work. It's one of the reasons why we continue to develop wide-ranging solutions that make sense for individual circumstances, whether it's a shelter bed, a shelter that accepts pets, or private quarters in a converted shipping container. The shipping container solution, pioneered by local company Steel & Spark, is a marvel and even won the top prize for urban design at South by Southwest last month. We owe a special duty to the most vulnerable among us, especially during summer. The Department of Public Health reported 645 heat deaths in Maricopa County last year, a human tragedy in our own backyard. As we prepare for what could be another tough summer, it's time to shift our thinking. We have to prepare for extreme heat the way other communities do for hurricanes, tornadoes, and blizzards. We know that tragedy can happen. The good news is we have great partners and leaders who are willing to do something about it. Our newest member of the City Council, Carlos Galindo Elvira, is already stepping up to make sure we do our best to care for our most vulnerable residents, and I'm grateful for that, Carlos. It will take an all-hands-on-deck approach. Last fall, I called on the city staff across departments, heat, homeless solutions, emergency management, and public health, to apply lessons from last year and work together to craft a comprehensive plan for 2024. That means planning for a new reality of persistent, harsh summer temperatures. This year, we will open overnight cooling centers, extend respite hours in public facilities, and coordinate both volunteer and emergency personnel outreach efforts. No person should die in the summer because an air conditioning went out or because they are unsheltered. Phoenix is also a city that believes everyone deserves a fair chance to make positive changes in their lives. Our new Phoenix Community Court breaks the cycle of involvement in the criminal justice system. Rather than face charges for minor offenses, community court participants can receive the resources they need to take matters into their own hands, get back on the right track, and ultimately end their homelessness. I'm grateful that our Public Safety Committee chairwoman led on delivering this creative and compassionate program. Thank you, Councilwoman Ann O'Brien. Since the program launched in January, nearly 100 residents have already received support. One woman entered the program unhoused, estranged from her family, and battling addiction. The great team at Community Bridges worked with her to obtain all of her identification documents, and she completed 2 outpatient substance abuse programs. As a result, she regained her Section 8 housing voucher and landed a job interview. I'm happy to say that because of her positive changes, she is now reunited with her family and on a path to independence. Another resident was referred to our program after he was cited for trespassing because he was sleeping in his car. A hardworking navigator helped him find shelter and services that made it possible for him to keep his job. Now, he's matched with a shared housing roommate and will secure his own apartment soon. Our community court is opening doors for people who were locked out for too long. It's making a real difference, and we are just getting started. I've told you all before that I believe Phoenix is a uniquely welcoming city, one that celebrates diversity and meets people where they are. Year after year, Phoenix has achieved a 100% score on the Human Rights Campaign's Equality Index for our LGBTQ+ inclusivity. I'm proud that Phoenix has a strong reputation for accessibility too, thanks to the efforts of many who have championed improvements to the way we build and the way we operate. But I think there's more we can do to make Phoenix a city that truly works for everyone, from parents pushing strollers to Phoenicians who depend on mobility aids. Over the last few years, the city has been performing a comprehensive analysis of our public buildings to ensure they meet the latest ADA standards. This is an important effort, but I think our unique brand of innovation can take us to the next level. I'm proud to announce the development of an ambitious plan to make Phoenix the most accessible city in the world. We are assembling a team of talented advocates who will help us identify priorities and chart the path forward. There is no better person to spearhead this plan than Phoenix Vice Mayor Deborah Stark. Deb, thank you for leading this worthy effort. I hope that by now you agree that when I say Phoenix has arrived, that we are the it kid. We have a tireless drive to keep getting better. Decades ago, naysayers from all around the country doubted what could be possible here. Today, the world is looking to Phoenix as a city of the future, where possibility is found in every corner. A Washington Post opinion columnist recently called Phoenix a rising star city, a city on the receiving end of more capital and more talent than ever before. The Wall Street Journal told the country, opportunity has a new address, Phoenix. We are reaping the benefits from years of intentional planning, attention to the right issues, and a steadfast belief in our limitless potential. Phoenix is more prosperous, healthy, and happy than we were decades ago. The state of our city is strong. If we continue to leverage our strengths and harness our ingenuity, I know we can rise to the challenges we face. We must and we will continue to rise for the sake of pursuing an even better future for us all. Thank you for allowing me to lead this incredible city, my beloved home. The future is bright in Phoenix, and Phoenix is the future. Thank you.